Not everything about the past is nostalgic. There are some elements that have a tendency to frighten us. Memories we don't want to entertain even for a moment. Some of them real, some merely imagined. We are consumed with fear, and some of us rather enjoy it. In fact, we seek it out. For all intents and purposes, I'd call myself a scaredy cat. But I'm also very curious about the things that go bump in the night. I think part of it stems from my childhood. See, I was only ever allowed to dress up for Halloween twice. My grandmother was extremely religious with a kind of fervor. At one time, I dressed as a ghostly nun, still keeping it kind of religious. But as I got older, I began to entertain more of the scares, mysteries, and surprises that come along with the holiday. And this is what led me to Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow, New York is a quiet, sleepy village along the Hudson River, not far from Manhattan. The area seems magical, having retained much of the history that hung on the coattails of a visiting short story writer named Washington Irving, whose time spent in the village later inspired the short story that would summon up more than just seasonal visitors to the village. It would call up the very dead. In his famously haunting tale, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which recently turned 200 years old, Irving says, "The dominant spirit that haunts this enchanted region is the apparition of a figure on horseback without a head. It is said to be the ghost of a Hessian trooper whose head had been carried away by a cannonball in some nameless battle during the Revolutionary War." Where some places might consider shunning away stories of the past that might spook future visitors, Sleepy Hollow has instead embraced its hair-raising past and has turned it into the event of the year. In autumn, during the Halloween season, Sleepy Hollow puts on a spine-tingling show with haunted hayrides, tours and haunts of Gothic mansions, blazing pumpkins, over 7,000 of them to be exact, individually hand-carved by volunteers, farmers markets that are ripe for the picking, live music, street fairs, races, costume parades, and of course, a much-anticipated appearance by the Headless Horseman. Town officials estimate that 80 to 100,000 people visit Sleepy Hollow during the month of October. In the words of Washington Irving himself, some say that the place was bewitched during the early days of the Dutch settlement. The place still continues under the sway of some witching power, subject to trances and visions, and frequently hear music and voices in the air. The whole neighborhood abounds with local tales, haunted spots, and twilight superstitions. It's very easy for us, the living, to grow imaginative, to dream dreams and see apparitions, and for all variety of the restless undead to find their way back.